Good evening. My name is Heidi Dixon. I'm a chaplain for Illumin Health, and our mission is to light the way and make the most of what is, and this is Sunshine for Your Soul. So happy Friday, if that means anything to you. It's a pleasure to be with you here at 5 o'clock into business for this week. And we have a special guest with us today, and this is my first time meeting him, and we thank our mutual friend Ron Keenley for getting us in touch with one another. Sometimes for our weekly video, I think of something I want to talk about, and then I find a song to go with it. And other times, we start with the song, depending on who's going to sing and play it, and then we find a message to go with that. And our guest today is going to sing Seven Spanish Angels. And so I was doing a little bit of research on that song. It's a beautiful song. And I was thinking, well, maybe we'll talk about angels, but I don't really want to talk about angels. I want to talk about something else, which is something that happens in the middle of the song. And the song is about an outlaw. And he is on the run and apprehended. And he is shot. And his lover is with him. And she decides that her prayer is that she can't go on living without him. And so, as it turns out, she's also killed. And her prayer is answered according to the song. So I wanted to talk about, actually just share this story, less talking and more reading, but about a death and how far we can go with one another, and how in the story only one, the story's called The Four Wives, and only one of the wives can actually go to the grave with, in this case, the king. So let me read you the story, and after that we'll have our song. And the story is called The Four Wives. Once upon a time there was a rich king who had 4 wives. He loved the 4th wife the most and adorned her with rich robes and treated her to the finest of delicacies. He gave her nothing but the best. He also loved the 3rd wife very much and was always showing her off to neighboring kingdoms. However, he feared that one day she would leave him for another. He also loved his 2nd wife. She was his confidant and was always kind, considerate, and patient with him. Whenever the king faced a problem, he could confide in her, and she would help him get through difficult times. The king's 1st wife was a very loyal partner and had made great contributions in maintaining his wealth and kingdom. However, he did not love the 1st wife. Although she loved him deeply, he hardly took notice of her. One day the king fell ill, and he knew his time was short. He thought of his luxurious life and wondered, I know I have 4 wives with me, but when I die, I'll be all alone. Thus he asked the 4th wife, I loved you the most, endowed you with the finest clothing, and showered great care over you. Now that I'm dying, will you follow me and keep me company? No way, replied the 4th wife, and she walked away without another word. Her answer cut like a sharp knife right into his heart. The sad king then asked the 3rd wife, I loved you all my life. Now that I'm dying, will you follow me and keep me company? No, replied the 3rd wife. Life is too good. When you die, I'm going to remarry. His heart sank and turned cold. He then asked the 2nd wife, I have always turned to you for help, and you've always been there for me. When I die, will you follow me and keep me company? I'm sorry, I can't help you out this time, replied the 2nd wife. At the very most, I can only walk with you to your grave. Her answer struck him like a bolt of lightning, and the king was devastated. Then a voice called out, I'll go with you. I'll follow you no matter where you go. The king looked up, and there was his 1st wife. She was very skinny, as she suffered from malnutrition and neglect. Greatly grieved, the king now took notice of her and said, I should have taken much better care of you when I had the chance. In truth, we all have the 4 wives in our lives. Our 4th wife is our body. No matter how much time and effort we lavish in making it look good, it will leave us when we die. Our 3rd wife is our possessions, status, and wealth. When we die, it will all go to others. Our second wife is our family and friends. No matter how much they have been there for us, the furthest they can stay by us is up to the grave. And our first wife is our soul, often neglected in pursuit of wealth, power, and pleasures of the world. However, our soul is the only thing that will follow us wherever we go. I'm sorry I can't tell you who wrote that because I don't know. I cut this out of an old church bulletin years ago because it made such an impression on me. So that's the story of the four wives. And with that, I would like to invite our guest today to come and join me.
Wow.
So I'd like to introduce Mr. Larry Brown. Larry and I just met today. We have a mutual friend, Ron Keenley, and Larry is from Bryan and graduated in '77 and went and traveled around and did music in Nashville for 7 years and has found his way back to his hometown and now works over at the Langford for Crestview Retirement System Home. I'm not sure what the center. And so he rushed over after work today to play a song for us, so 7 Spanish Angels. And we really appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. I don't know if I can follow the story because it had me from hello.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really a good story. Yeah. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have treasures of like that, and oh my goodness. This is a beautiful song, and I was sold on it when I first heard Willie Nelson and Ray Charles play it, and I always wanted to do justice to it. I learned just to make it my own. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for taking time out for me. He looked down into her brown eyes. He said, "Say a prayer for me." She threw her arms around him, said, "God will keep us free." Well, they could see the risers coming. He said, "This is my last fight. If they take me back to Texas, they won't take me back alive." And 7 Spanish angels at the altar of the sun, they were praying for the lovers at the Valley of the Gun. When the battle stopped and the smoke cleared, there was thunder from the throne, and 7 Spanish angels took another angel home. Well, she reached down to pick the gun up, still smoking in his hand. She said, "Father, please forgive me, but I can't make it without my man." Well, she knew the gun was empty when she aimed it at one of them, and her final prayer was answered when the rifles fired again. 7 Spanish angels at the altar of the sun, they were praying for the lovers at the Valley of the Gun. When the battle stopped and the smoke cleared, there was thunder from the throne, and 7 Spanish angels, they took another angel home. 7 Spanish angels at the altar of the sun. They were praying for the lovers at the valley of the gun. When the battle stopped and the smoke cleared, there was thunder from the throne, and 7 Spanish angels took another angel home. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Thank you again to Larry Brown for coming after work and sharing his musical talent with us. And we pray that God will be with you this weekend and always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.